All right. Good morning. Good morning. How we doing? Happy Tuesday. How's everyone doing this morning? We're taking a look here. Let's start off with NQ. So yesterday, start off with a pretty slow session. Pretty slow start to the week. Pretty slow start to the day. Volume incredibly low. We do see a little bit of action, a little bit of volatility into the close there with some Fed speak. Price resolves lower, right? Down through that 075 level of interest, right through here, which was that overnight low. And we had talked about that area being the prior breakout point, right? NFP, get the big push there, retest, close near the highs, overnight action. Again, a retest, a little bounce. It's probably going to be, just eyeballing it, it's probably going to be about 50 to 61% of this overnight move. So sellers step in there again. You have a failure here at the 075, and price comes in and retests the 20K level of interest in last week's volume point of control. You can see that yellow line here as well as that blue line. Blue line shows the weekly profile. Yellow line is the current view, the variable view volume profile there. So a lot of volume in this 19,950 area. Overnight action pretty much just shows a range, right? Technically, we did see a test down into 900 there, which is a key area of support. Now, where are we? We're back into that 075 area, right back here. So what do we have on our hands? We have a range. It's just a range, right? Basic range trading here. And so what we want to be watching, or what I'll be watching off of the open here, is the reaction to the 075 level of interest. Don't believe we have any data this morning. Yeah, no data. Just more Fed speak around 12:45. So Fed's Bostic will be speaking then. If buyers can continue to defend this 075 area, we want to see if they can give a push through the pre-market high to test that upside level of interest into 150, and then potentially into the prior day high in the 255 level of interest, kind of where we're at. Now, if 075 fails, right, we've got some downside levels to work with, 20K down into that prior day low, and then the 19,900 area. This starts to get into a significant area of support down into this area down here. So kind of in the middle of this current structure, right? And then if you zoom out even more and switch to your hourly chart, you'll see that intermediate term is just neutral, it's just a range, and the near term as well, just range bound. So it could be a slower day here without any economic data on the schedule. We do have FOMC minutes tomorrow, so we want to be looking at that volume, see what type of activity we're actually going to be having for today. As of right now, let's see, where are we currently trading? About 84, 83. So that puts the open right near here, right in the middle of the prior day's range. So let's see this reaction versus this 075 level of interest. Take it from there. It's kind of going to be the main watch here off the open. Lower highs on the hourly. This looks more like a range to me. I see what you're talking about here from the NFP high. Definitely could make a case for some lower highs there. Kind of with this view. But when you zoom out, it's just sideways, right? So for me, this is more of a neutral backdrop, just meaning range bound. Sideways range. So with the neutral, you can trade both sides, right? It's okay to have no bias there. Per usual, I'll be focused on the long side, as I typically am. So early on, we want to see if buyers can defend that 75 level of interest, and then just take it from there. No prediction, right? Not in the prediction business. Simply respond to what price is showing. That's it. That's all we do. And we got about 90 seconds till the open here. Here comes the open, about 15 seconds. And Q pressing the pre-market high there right ahead of the bell. There's the open. There's your 5-minute. Slight gap, right? Slight gap, but within the middle of the prior day's range. Notice that pre-market high is kind of aligned with the prior day breakdown point. Just right through here. There's 75 being tested. Session volume point of control is moved to 88 area. Right through there. Back into that pre-market high. NQ, so your pre-market high is about 107. Just about 107. So ES, pretty similar structure there. Yeah, desk is not in stand mode. Desk is not in sport. Not yet, anyway. Here's that opening 5-minute bar closing up here shortly, about 1 more minute. NQ into the lows. Retesting the lows there. It's your 075 level of interest. And that's a new low of day being made there for NQ. There's that first 5-minute bar closing up here in about 10 seconds. New lows being made there. Buyers still pretty interested in this 075 area. See how this kind of pre-market structure right through here, essentially this area resolves. Started around 5:30 a.m. See if we get a break of that little structure. Session volume point of control still here at 85. And NQ making a stretch for the highs there. New high of day up through the pre-market high. So buyers liking that 075 area so far. They need acceptance above that pre-market high. See if we get it or not. New high of day there on NQ. Volume's pretty good. See how it continues to build out. So no follow through so far above pre-market high. Still in that opening 5-minute range. There's your next 5-minute closure. Big wick up through the session high there, up through the pre-market high. See if we could start to get some direction here. Yeah, a couple decent scalps there, Dom. Don't overstay your welcome, definitely. We do have a level of interest, but location within the structure, bigger picture structure, is not the best. First 15-minute bar closes up here in about 3 minutes. NQ back near the highs, back near those pre-market highs. See if we get a fresh session high here. If you grab that higher low near 75, you want to be trimming into this area. More sellers sitting there at pre-market high, that overnight high area. So about 15 minutes into the sesh here, It's a tight intraday range so far, no direction. Still trading within that opening 5-minute range. There's your pre-market high again. And back into session volume point of control here. Just churning. Churn, churn, churn. Yeah, volume's just average. Five-minute just shows barcode. Barcode. Your barcode. Back in a 75. Back near the lows. Almost with a new low of day there. Current low is right near 70 for NASDAQ. For the old NASDAQ. Orb trading strategy. Conditions for an orb trading strategy. Depends what time frame you're talking about. Opening range break is a way to enter. You still need all your conditions. It's like a spring or something like that. That's just a way to enter. You're still going to have all your different conditions for that type of entry. I don't personally trade the orb, so don't have a lot of commentary on that. Prefer in the index, prefer pullback type of entries. Momentum type of entry is it's gonna be very tough to master. And that's coming from someone who traded strictly momentum in individual names for 6-7 years before switching to futures. Or before switching to index products, rather. So NQ just caught here between that 0.75 level of interest and your pre-market high. Volume is really tapering down already. Look at that. Terrible. So much like what we saw yesterday morning, you just want to be cautious. You want to be cautious when those conditions aren't favorable. Yeah, I know what happened to Mo. Still talk to him all the time. Mo's doing well. Mo is doing well. He had to take a break from the markets, but I'm sure he'll be back. He pops into the think tank every now and again. See if we can get a break of the pre-market high here. Back into 107. And seller sitting there again. NQ back into the highs there. See if we could actually get that break. Fresh high. There we go. New high of day. Does it have any follow through? That is the question now. Pretty good follow through there. Next upside reference point and level of interest is 150. You also have the prior day volume point of control right there as well. The 075 level of interest holding as support. So we'll see if we get any sort of entry. I did have some scalps versus 75, but I don't have any runners for this move. Anyone holding a runner? There's your prior day volume point of control. Just shy of it. Up into 150, upside level of interest. If you have any longs, this is a good spot to trim. Good spot to trim. Wow, this morning's flying. 4 minutes till 10 a.m. 4 mins till 10. Yeah, Dom, I don't blame you at all. Don't blame you at all for that. So into 10 a.m., we'll be looking at the reaction here at 150. 150 level of interest. And 2.5 minutes till 10. $87-point move. So if 150 can clear, if buyers can continue this directional move, prior day high is a solid upside reference point, but the next real level is up into the weekly pivot at 255. A little bit of a new high of day there on NQ. Not all that surprising to see some selling there. Let's see the 10 a.m. reaction. No data. There's no data, but 10 a.m. reversal time, always worth keeping an eye on. 10 a.m. RT. So where those fibs have us now for this move. So your 50% is way down there into that prior session high right around here, 114 area. Volume definitely improved. Fresh highs there into 10 a.m. Prior day high is not far off now. Prior day high 187. Don't chase. If you don't have an entry, don't chase. Do not chase. Yeah, anyone who held those 75 longs is up nicely here, over 100 points. There's your prior day high, up through the prior day high now. Yeah, pullback would be phenomenal. Yes, sir. Market structure gives us the map, shows us the terrain. Fresh highs there as NQ gets into 200. Again, your next upside level of interest is up into 255. That's the weekly pivot. Great volume here. Now we're just looking to see if we get any sort of structure to work with, any sort of pullback, what the depth of that pullback is going to be. We know buyers have stepped in pretty heavily. Now you can start to take those fibs again. Let's take a look here, see where we're at. So your first shallow fibs down into 170 right there. It's your 23% fib. You got the 38% aligned with the 150 level of interest there, as well as prior day volume point of control. Low a day to high a day, you talking regular trading hours or extended? Is that the extended session? NQ just kind of churning near that prior day high here. Oh, regular. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, that 38% right there. Volume's still pretty good here. Volume remains pretty good. Here's that shallow fib. More interested in the 150. 150 level of interest. Personally. Personal preference. Retest of the prior day high there. There's price back near the highs. See if buyers have the juice to make a fresh high with that very shallow pullback or not. No new high made. There we go. Let's see if we get a deeper pullback now. A lot of churn here near the prior day high. Buyers doing a good job of showing acceptance of these higher prices. My preference is for a little bit of a deeper pullback here, ideally into the 150. If I were to use prior day high, at this point I'd want to see more of an extension move above than a pullback with a cleaner retest. That's just my preference. About 45 minutes into the sesh here. Let's do a quick poll in the chat. Let me know how the morning is. How we doing? I suspect most of you are flat. Let's see. Flat. ES pulling back a bit more here. A little bit of relative weakness there versus NQ. Bumped into that 57.82 upside level of interest. Let's jump over there. Take a look here. There it is. So no test of that prior day high for S&P. Look at this, just sideways the past 3 weeks or so. 3 weeks of sideways trading. For ES, there it is. Big range there. Sitting on lunch money, Dom. Nice. All right. NQ structure starting to shift a little bit here. There we go. As mentioned, structure shifting a bit. Let's see if we can get that test and some setup at 150. And good old NQ. Good old NASDAQ. Any of you guys in Florida? I was reading about that storm. Milton. Looks to be a brutal one. More churn here on NQ. Oh, Michael, that's right. I forgot you had a place down there. Well, hoping for the best. I was reading, I don't know how true this is, but I was reading that It's like one of the top 5 worst to hit the areas, and it's almost at the mathematical limit of how intense a hurricane can get on Earth. I don't know how true that is, so don't quote me on that, but that's what I was reading this morning. Pretty wild. More sellers stepping in here on NQ. Let's see. Break that local low there. Need a breakthrough here. Give us the retest. Some sort of setup right through here. Buyer's pretty resilient at this shallow fib. Not an area I love to get involved personally, with so much overhead resistance still. There's definitely a time and place for that type of entry, but I don't think this is the time or place for it. So definitely could work, but is that a trade I want to be in? Personally, no. There we go. Little break of the structure there. Here comes 150. Let's see if we get any sort of buyers stepping in or not. If this area fails, if 150 were to fail, you do have the 50 and 61% fib is always worth watching, but I typically prefer those areas to align with some other reference point. Your next downside reference point is back into that pre-market high, down near 106, 107 area. So let's see the reaction near 150 if buyers are interested at all. NQ back near the prior day high there. Looking for that test of 150. $150. $30-minute, yeah, that's a good shout. Let's see how that closes up here. 4 mins, 4 minutes till that 30 closes. NQ back near that prior day high. Can buyers break up and through the prior day high here? How's that profile looking? Big volume node building out. High volume node. But still a ways before your volume point of control for the session actually shifts. I did notice on the 5-minute regular trading hours chart, you do have volume point of control up here. So bumping back into that prior day high. Buyers need some follow through, up and through, up and through. More sellers sitting right there. Got that 15 and 30-minute closure here in about a minute and a half or so. Volume tapering back down. Pretty low. That 5-minute bar saved that 30-minute candle. NQ still just bumping into that prior day high right here though. A little bit of a push there. Just shy of the highs now. See if we get that new high of day. How about a new high of day? Just shy of the highs. And that's probably the last play of the day for me, unless we get another big volatility event, but not my kind of action right here. So we're looking for that retest of 150. Didn't quite get into the 150, but then you see, again, another test there with a little bit of a higher low. Worth trying. So I got in right there. Reduce risk into the structure high. Buyer's not out of the woods just yet. We need to make a fresh session high here. Trail's already in profit. So we just let it work for now. See if we get that fresh high. Yeah, I prefer closer proximity to the level. But you don't always get it. Don't always get that perfect test. Should have waited for that to unfold. Yeah, it takes a lot of patience to sit out of those initial kind of more subpar pullbacks there into that first shallow fib. But NQ failing to make a fresh session high here, so I'll probably get trailed any second. Need that new high of day here. NQ. There we go. Give us a push. Come on. There we go. It's your new high of day. See, we could ride. And we just got to sit tight. Just got to sit tight, let the structure unfold. Very nice. So next major upside level into that 255. Once we get that next higher low, I will be raising my trail. As of right now, trail's right around 195. Subway Surfer, yep. Christopher's working on a high score right now. Screen recording for his trade 30 for 30 entry. So if we get a new high of day here, trail will be raised to just beneath 200. A little bit of exhaustion there on the 1 minute. Pretty limited follow through. Trail may be taken here. If this little 15-second hammer gets taken out, there's the trail right there. Wow, nice. Saved by a tick. Let's go. Maybe not. Maybe not. See that new high of day. New high of day. So far, there's just basically a retest of the breakout point intraday, right? We need follow through. Need that push. Volume tapers right back down. Look at that. Jeez. It's like holiday mode. There goes the trail. There it goes. There it is. There's the trade. Probably be my last play of the morning. Decent setup there. Again, we're looking for that retest into the 150 level of interest. Not a perfect retest, right? Initially passed on that first blip there, but once price gave kind of a micro higher low, that was the entry. As you can see here, reduce risk into session highs, try and carry it. Try and carry it for that next upside level of interest with a market structure based trail. So you got the extension move, buyers stepping in, then you have the pullback to the level of there's the high. Dang, they got me to the tick. Look at this. Literally to the tick. Wow. Took me out to the tick. That's trading for you. Look at my trail there. To the tick. There's your 255 weekly pivot. So the idea worked out perfectly. Trailed a tad too tight. But again, that's part of the game. Part of the game. Nicely done, Benny. Great trade. So that's the main target for that play. Level to level move, 150 level of interest into the 255 level of interest. I think that is a good spot to shut it down. Thank you guys for jumping into the stream. Thank you for your time. As always, I appreciate it. Always good to trade with you all. If you have questions about anything, we'll keep the analysis and the trading going in the Traders Think Tank. You can find me there pretty much all day, every day. Have a great rest of your morning. And I will talk to you next time. Take care.